Hello everyone, today is 7th of November. My name is Sahil and welcome to the newspaper analysis. Friends, today into the GS folder, we will take a quote from the Saint Augustine, who was a medieval age profound philosopher and a theologian. He had talked about morality. He says, right is right even if no one is doing it. Wrong is wrong even if everyone is doing it. So guys, he defies that the societal sanction or the sanction of the majority doesn't justify any action to be just or to be right, and hence a person should look to his voice of conscience to find it whether a desired course of action can be justified onto the grounds of morality or not. Now we can utilize this particular quote directly into the GS paper number 4 into the topic number 1, where the ethics and the human interface has been discussed. Moreover, guys, into the topic number 6 in GS paper number 4 also, voice of conscience as the source of ethics has been discussed. There also you can utilize this particular quote. So guys, that's it, and now let's take the newspaper analysis. Now guys, first of all, let's have the overview of the entire newspaper articles that we will be doing. Guys, first of all, sorry for the yesterday as I was not feeling well, so was not able to post the video from past 2-3 days. The health is not good, so therefore I have to take a off yesterday. And guys, one more thing, see, many of you might have doubts onto the Sunday. So guys, I would like to clarify here that on Sunday there is a weekly off for this particular thing, because as you know that we take up articles from many of the varied sources, and on to the Sunday there is no editorial, then there is no edition of the LiveMint, then guys into the Business Standard also there are no articles, so therefore the Sunday newspaper analysis is not there. Now guys, taking up the brief overview, first of all, this is the Hindu newspaper. Guys, on to the first page we can see that major news are not there. It is all about the US elections and such here and there news which are not actually useful for our exam. So guys, directly will be reaching to the editorial page. Now guys, into the editorial also you can see that this particular editorial is with respect to the election, but as within 1-2 days the result will be coming out, this particular thing is not useful. Then guys, this alimony guidelines, this is the article with respect to the section number 125 of CRPC, which already into the last discussion we have taken up. Then guys, this article actually is a good article. It is talking about the disabled people, so we will be seeing this article. Then guys, moving forward, this particular article is a ground zero report as today is Saturday, and it is about the shooting of a girl in Faridabad last week. So guys, particularly not important for exam. Then guys, moving forward, so as we move forward we can see that here one particular news item is there where the responsibilities has been fixed onto the state with respect to the accessing of the funding. Very good article, will be seeing it. Then guys, here we can see that the right to recall has been mentioned, so this entire right to recall we will be seeing. Then guys, this particular article mentions about the food fortification, its a criticism has been provided, so we will be seeing this particular issue. Then guys, moving forward, this is a showcase page, not important for today. Now guys, the world page is again, it is filled with the US elections, and within 2-3 days the result will be coming out. Then guys, this particular article talks about the WhatsApp issue, where the WhatsApp has been given the permission by the NPCI, so we'll see this thing. Then guys, the NBFC needs the kind of a regularization, so we will be seeing it. After that guys, there are certain articles that we will be taking from the PIB also. So this is the PIB website. Now guys, there are the news with respect to how much of the operations under MSP etc has been done, not important. Guys, here we can see that the India Italy virtual summit has happened. So just guys, one liner concept that this is the first time that the virtual summit has happened. However, nothing substantial within this particular article has been given, just an invitation has been given and nothing else. Then guys, one other important news has been there, which is given here into the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. Now here guys, it has been said by the ministry that within 5 years India will be made as an automobile manufacturing hub, so we will be seeing it. Then guys, we will be taking some articles from the Indian Express also. So in Indian Express, this article mentions about the EOS-01, which is a satellite which is being launched by India today. So guys, we'll be seeing it. Then guys, this particular article is from Business Standard. It is talking about the financialization of economy, and now these keywords are very much important into the UPSC, so we will see that what does this financialization of economy means. So guys, that's all for the articles, and now let's take them in detail. Now guys, this particular article has been taken from the Indian Express, and here we can see that the EOS-01 is being launched today. So guys, what is it? Because into the science and tech such kind of questions have been asked. So guys, we will see this news. Now guys, EOS-01, it is a satellite which is being launched by the ISRO after a gap of so many months because the pandemic had a huge impact onto the launch. Now guys, this particular year, various influential and high profile launches were to be made. For example, the Aditya L1, which was an planetary exoplanet probe towards the sun. Then there was the launch of an unmanned Gaganyaan probe, which was the precursor to the manned Gaganyaan mission that will be taking up laterwards. Now, guys, but this particular year, these launches have not been made, and now the today EOS-01 will be launched. Now, guys, what is this EOS-01? Because for the first time, by this particular nomenclature, the satellite has been launched. So, guys, I'll tell you here that it is nothing but it is one of the satellite into the series of Ryzen satellites. Ryzen stands for the radar imaging satellite, which provides the all-weather surveillance. Now, guys, these particular satellites, the Ryzen satellites, they use the synthetic aperture radar, which is helpful to provide the data even into the fog cover, cloud cover, all these kind of things. Guys, earlier the satellites which the ISRO was using for the surveillance, they were based onto the optical and the spectral sensors, but those sensors were impacted by thick cloud or thick fog, and therefore they were non-functional into such kind of weathers. But guys, now the Ryzen satellites are being launched. So Ryzen 1, Ryzen 2, and up till Ryzen 2BR1 has been launched last up till last year. Now guys, this particular year Ryzen 2BR2 was to be launched, and now the government, the ISRO had actually changed the name of this Ryzen 2BR2, and it is just being called as EOS-01. So guys, both the names can be used, but this is a new nomenclature that now ISRO had actually used. Now friends, earlier the ISRO used to name its satellite onto the basis of themes. For example, guys, the land topography and mapping satellites, they were simply called as the Cartosat. The ocean study satellites, they were called as OceanSat, and similarly the radar imaging satellite were called as RISAT. Now this particular nomenclature has been abandoned. Guys, this EOS-01 satellite which is being launched, it will be launched by using the PSLV vehicle. And guys, one more thing, this PSLV vehicle will actually be launching 9 other satellites also along with the EOS-01. And these, out of these, 4 belong to the USA. Then the 4 belongs to the Luxembourg, and one is a technology demonstrator from the Lithuania. Now, these 9 satellites along with the EOS-1 are being launched. Moreover, guys, the version of PSLV that is being used here, it is a new PSLV which actually had made only one flight earlier when it launched the Microsat R satellite last particular year. So within the PSLV, it is a new subclass. And when we talk about the PSLV vehicles, they have been very successful vehicles for India, and including this one, the 51 flights have been made by the PSLVs, and within these 51 flights, only 2 of the launches have not been successful. So a very good success ratio has been given by the PSLV vehicles. Now guys, one more last thing. See, as I have talked about these RISAT satellites, now guys, these RISAT satellites, the different satellites, they use the different kind of electromagnetic radiation which is emitted by the radar, and onto the basis of type of electromagnetic radiation that is being ejected, different properties onto the land can be seen, they can be captured, they can be analyzed, their model can be prepared. Now guys, for example, if a low wavelength signal is just being emitted, then it can capture the tree cover or the vegetation. However, if these radars, they are projecting a high wavelength signal, then they can actually penetrate within the trees and can also tell the land contours or the land terrain. So guys, different kind of radars will determine that what type of property will be seen by these satellites. So guys, we don't need to remember all of these 5, but just this principle which I have just told you, you please keep it in your mind. So guys, that's all about this particular article, and now we'll be moving to the next article. Now guys, this particular article has been taken from the Business Standard newspaper, and it is mentioning a phenomena, that is the financialization of economy. Now it has been said that the demonetization or the note ban, it led to the financialization of economy and the decline of the manufacturing. So this particular terminology, what does it means, we will be seeing it, because into the last 2 years such kind of questions have directly been asked into the UPSC prelims exam specifically, which have turned more onto an analytical skill. So the financialization of economy, guys, it refers to a phenomena when in an economy the size or the importance of the financial sector becomes too much important, or the financial enterprises, they become more large and the manufacturing sector becomes small. Guys, if we just take an example, then you can see that after the demonetization, the ventures such as the Paytm, the ventures such as the phone pay, etc., they have become so much resurgent. And guys, in India, clearly the demonetization why played an important role, because onto the nick of an announcement, the physical cash was useless, and anyone just out of force or out of compulsion or of choice, they had to resort onto the digital transactions, and that digital transaction had led to a scope where the financialization of economy has happened. But the decline of manufacturing is also there, guys, because you know that there are large number of enterprises which are into the informal sector, and they still depend on to the cash transactions, and as they were not able to transact, then that particular decline manufacturing see had seen, and this is even going till present times. So guys, this is such an observation which has been noted here. Guys, please do use it into even your answers in GS paper number 3 when we are talking about the trends into the present economic cycle. So guys, that's all. Now we'll move to the next article. Now, guys, this particular article has been taken from the Hindu newspaper, and it can be used as a reference in GS paper number 2, questions related to the electoral democracy. Now, guys, what has happened? The Haryana government had cleared a bill which entails the right to recall for the panchayat members. Now, what do we first of all understand by right to recall? Now, right to recall is a tool which is practiced more into the direct democracies. Now, here, if the people don't like their legislator or their representative, they can vote him to remove him from the office. Now, it has been said that in all the democracies, the right to recall needs to be there, because right to recall is just an extension to right to elect. When you are giving them power to elect, why not to give them power to remove them also? Now, in India, many a times the right to recall has been just talked that it needs to be provided into the Vidhan Sabha as well as into the parliamentary elections. And guys, into this particular thing, if I give you a reference from 2016, then the Representation of People Amendment Bill was raised by the Varun Gandhi, and it was a private member bill, and it wanted that right to recall needs to be given to the people onto the pan India basis. However, guys, as you might be knowing that the private member bills are not given that due importance. So, guys, this particular bill has not been passed. Now, the right to recall has been given by Haryana to their panchayat members. It means that, guys, if the members of a panchayat, they are not satisfied with the performance of their sarpanch or for their panchayat members, then they can raise a kind of an initiative to recall back that particular member. Into this particular direction, it has been said that 50% of the members of a ward or a gram sabha, they need to give a written notice that the recall process needs to be started. Then there will be the voting which will be happening by the secret ballot, and there, if 2 by third of the people, they say that the member needs to be recalled, then that particular member will be removed from the office. Now, guys, this recall will be available for the village level sarpanch and panchayat, block level panchayat, as well as for the district level Zilla Parishad panchayats also. Now, guys, apart from this particular thing, the Haryana government has also provided 50% of the reservation to women into the rural bodies. And by this particular thing, they had even exceeded the earlier provision of the 33% of the reserved seats that have to be provided. So into the terms of the women empowerment also, this is a positive step. But guys, this is also a reality that even after reserving the seats for the women, the concept of the pradhan pati has been very much prevalent, particularly into the North India, where the women just they act as a kind of a demo sarpanches or the panchayat members, and actually the power is practiced by the husbands. And further, guys, talking more about the right to recall. So first of all, you need to keep it in mind that it is not Haryana the first state which is providing the right to recall. Guys, already into the states such as the Bihar and Madhya Pradesh, right to recall at the lower level is already provided. Now guys, a question comes that whether onto the base onto the parliamentary level or onto the legislative assembly level there is a need to give such right to recall. So there are arguments on both the sides. First of all, when we talk about advantages, it has been said that guys, this particular thing will fulfill the right to vote, because right to vote actually need to work at a two end. Then guys, it has been said that it will reduce the criminalization of politics as well as the use of money power into the politics. Guys, often it has been seen that the elections in India, they are very high cost investment, and a person just want to retrieve that particular investment within the 5 years. But when the right to recall will be provided, he will not be having any surety that the 5-year tenure will be completed, and into this particular thing the criminals etc might not find it lucrative to come into the elections, and a clean politics can be provided. Moreover guys, further it has been said that it will reimpose the faith of the people into the democratic process, and they will actually feel that the power of democracy is lying into their hand, and it will increase a kind of a trust between the citizen and state, and will actually empower the social contract theory. However guys, on to the other hand, on to the negative side also, there will be certain disadvantages of this thing. First of all, when the right to recall will be there, it will bring a kind of an instability into the election system. Then guys, it will increase the burden onto the election commission of India. Thirdly guys, it has been seen that the opposition parties, they will be making an issue even out of the small and small things, and will be starting with the protest dharnas for the right to recall, and more for the population purpose it will be used. Then guys, it has been said that actually it will lead to excess of democracy, and the independence of the legislators will be hampered. All the time they will try to lure the voters so that they don't recall them. And guys, many a times it has been seen that some kind of unpopular decisions have also to be taken for the into the spirit of functional democracy. Then those particular things will become little bit problematic. Hence guys, right to recall, on both the hand, it has its own argument as well as disadvantages. So guys, there could even be a question onto this particular line, as the Haryana had passed this particular thing. So please keep these negatives as well as positives into your mind. So that's it. Now we'll be moving to the next article. Now, guys, this particular news article has been taken from the PIB, where the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways had actually announced the Electric Mobility Conference 2020. And within this Electric Mobility Conference, they had envisioned that India need to be make an automobile manufacturing hub into the next 5 years. Now, guys, into the GS paper number 3, when we talk about the manufacturing, within the manufacturing, when we are talking about the Make in India, there such kind of policy imperatives can be given as an example or as a reference point. Now guys, often it has been seen that government nowadays is pushing more for the electronic vehicles, and a kind of an e-mobility is being pushed. Even government started with the FAME scheme, which talks about adopting the electronic vehicles. Moreover, you might also be knowing that we have taken up the Paris Climate Pledge, where we have taken the INDC targets, within which India had said that 33 to 35% of the emissions will be reduced. So, into that particular thing, using of the EV becomes very much important. Further, guys, the electric vehicles, they need the electric cells or the electrical energy, and seeing the present speed, it has been said that by 2022, 10 gigawatt per hour of cell energy requirement will be needed, and by 2025 it will be going up to 50 gigawatt. So infrastructure, manufacturing, everything is needed, and therefore it has been appealed to the manufacturers that they should ramp up their capabilities. Moreover guys, government had just in a bid to give much push to the electronic vehicles, had announced that the Delhi Mumbai expressway will be developed as an e-highway. And guys, even into the January 2020, the work had started to make it as an e-highway. First of all, what is this e-highway? Now guys, this particular project has been popularized into the Germany, where the overhead electric cables they run, and the vehicles they particularly the heavy duty vehicles such as the trucks and buses, they are provided with a pantograph which touches this electric wires, and it gets a constant electric energy. Now guys, this particular mode of transportation makes it very much cheaper, it makes it cleaner, and onto the lines of Germany, India is also building up this particular e-highway. So we can say that actually onto majority of the highways, government should start these particular initiatives. So very good thing it has been provided. So guys, that's all about this particular article, and now we'll be moving to the next article. Now, guys, this particular article has been taken from the Hindu newspaper, and it is very much important for the GS paper number 2 under the social justice and the vulnerable sections of the society. Particularly for the disabled people's welfare, this article is important. Now, guys, this article had said that how the market pricing mechanisms, taxation pricing mechanisms had been used as to give a blow to the disabled people. What has happened, I will tell you. Now, few days back, into the Nipun Malhotra versus Union of India case, it was said that into India, the GST which is imposed onto the mobility aids such as the wheelchair, tricycle, it is very much high. 5% of GST is being charged onto these items. It is not good because these items are not something which a person uses out of choice or as a luxury thing. Rather, these are the things which are providing a life of dignity to the disabled people. It has been said that by these particular mobility aids, they can come on par with their other counterparts, and therefore it is very indiscriminate, or it is going against the notion of equality to charge any kind of GST onto these particular kind of aids. Supreme Court was said that it needs to give a ruling that government cannot charge the GST on such kind of items. However, Supreme Court said that we will not interfere because taking a decision onto the taxation and all such, it is the matter of the legislative branch. And it has been said that actually you need to appeal to the GST council who actually decides these particular rates, and Supreme Court can't do anything. GST council should take a call. Now guys, it has been said that Supreme Court into this particular assessment has not looked a fact that actually it was not a taxation matter, rather it is a matter of abuse of fundamental rights, because within the fundamental right, the right to dignified life has been provided, and the dignified life will not be possible when the dignified person will not be given the mobility aids, or if by the taxation that particular thing is just being deprived from him. Now on to this particular line, the top courts into the Canada as well as Colombia have ruled when the matters of taxation were there, but those taxation matters were hampering the fundamental rights. So on to that particular line, the Supreme Court of India should also have taken up the call. Now guys, as we know that there's a GST council, and the GST council decides the GST rates onto the different items. Guys, it has been said that when GST was inaugurated in 2070, GST council, there was much of a fanfare, there was much of an expectation that it will be bringing a new regime, a representative regime. Guys, earlier if I tell you, before the coming of the GST, there were the state level VAT, and into the state level VAT onto the wheelchairs there were the exemptions which were given by the different state. So actually there was no tax before the GST, but now the tax of 5% has been imposed. Guys, even earlier if I tell you, the 18% tax was there, and even after so much of the appeals, it has been reduced to the 5%. Now there is a fight that it needs to be brought into a nil category or into the 0% category. So therefore guys, whenever this particular thing is brought to the GST council, GST council gives a particular type of debate, that is the debate with respect to the input credits. Now guys, how actually the GST entire system works. Now just assume that this particular person is one who is making a wheelchair. Now just assume that for making a wheelchair only one raw material is needed, that is the aluminium. Now when he bought the aluminium from any other person, he might have bought 100 rupees of aluminium, and just let's take an example that 5 rupees of the tax he had given for this particular thing. So in total he had given the 105 rupees. Now guys, when he will be using, this particular man will be using the aluminium, and just suppose that he had made a kind of a wheelchair. Now, just let's assume that this wheelchair is sold for 200 rupees. Now, 200 rupees for the was the price, and onto this 10 rupees taxes were also levied. So, actually, the wheelchair was of 210 rupees. Now, guys, it has been said that this 210 rupees, when will be given to this particular person, then he will keep the 5 rupees. Now, the total 10 rupees was a tax. He will keep the 5 rupees which he earlier paid as a tax, as a kind of any input for him, and the additional 5 rupees that he had received, he will pay this particular thing to the government. Now it has been said that if this 5 rupee which he had already paid will not be given to him, then he will not be having any incentive to make the wheelchair. So actually we have to compulsorily take money from the customer so that that money can be given to the manufacturer of the wheelchair. So this is the argument which has been given by the government. However, guys, this particular argument has certain challenges. Challenge number one: there are still so many of the products which are very crucial to the people, but on to them 0% GST do exist. Case in point is the recent government decision in 2018 when it decided that the sanitary pads will not be taxed any kind of GST. So when it can done for the sanitary pads, why not for the wheelchairs it can be done? Secondly, guys, it has been said that this particular argument is again wrong. Why government cannot give a total exemption? Even why government doesn't allows that this particular person who is buying the raw material for the making of the wheelchair, he also need not to give any kind of a GST to the person who is behind the chain. Into this particular thing, this entire matter can be solved. So guys, this is about this particular issue, a very sensitive issue, and the government should look it not under the lens of the economy, rather under the lens of the social justice. So guys, that's it, and now we'll be moving to the next article. Now, guys, this particular article has been taken from the Hindu newspaper, and it discusses about the recent decision where the WhatsApp has been given the permission to start up their UPI service onto their platform. This particular permission has been given by the National Payment Corporation of India, NPCI. Now, guys, first of all, a question comes that why WhatsApp needed to introduce the UPI onto their application. Now, the answer is very simple for this thing, because, guys, just a few months back there was a deal which happened between the Geo as well as between the Facebook. Here the Facebook had bought a 9.99% stake of the Geo Mart. Now the strategy of the Geo and Facebook is here is such that by Geo Mart people will be provided the goods for their day to day need, and the people can pay the money from their WhatsApp app. The Geo Mart will be connecting the local departmental store, local kirana stores to the end consumer. He can buy directly, place the order, and can pay from the WhatsApp. Guys, earlier the NPCI allowed that WhatsApp can offer such UPI service only to the 1 million user, and now as the approval has been given, NPCI has been given a permission to give this service to the 20 million users. However, guys, there is one more step where the permission from the RBI is also is to be taken, and if the RBI will also give the permission, then to 400 million of users, total users of WhatsApp in India, they can be given this UPI service. Now, guys, UPI is actually a payment platform which has been developed by the NPCI, and onto this particular payment platform, different apps have also been made, such as the Google Pay, Phone Pay, etc. Now, guys, the WhatsApp also wants to utilize this particular UPI. Now, guys, government NPCI itself has also made a particular app onto this platform, that is the Bheem. Now, guys, there are two kind of opinions which are coming onto this particular development. Opinion number one is that it is good, it will further improve the ease of payment in India. Fine, because more of a competition as it will come, it will push the players that they should provide the better services. However, guys, on to the other hand, it has been said that it will lead to the oversaturation of the market. However, guys, as this time will pass, we will seeing this particular thing. So, guys, that's all about this particular article, and now we'll move to the next article. Now, guys, this particular article has been taken from the Hindu newspaper. It is relevant for our GS paper number 2 under the topic of the hunger. First of all, guys, this article is in continuation with one article which I had discussed on to the 4th of November. That is the initiative where government has allowed that the 15 states, they will be provided with the fortified rice which they can provide to the children for the, so that their hidden hunger can be vanished. Now, guys, just to give you a kind of a connection with the last news, government decided that the fortified rice will be provided. Now, guys, the fortified rice is a nutritive rice where the rice is infused with the iron, vitamin B12, folic acid, etc., so that they can provide the good nutrition to the students. Government said that via the PDS, via the midday meal scheme, these fortified rices will be provided. However, in discuss, I had already taken up here. Now, here this article is talking about the challenges or the criticisms or a kind of obstacles which will be coming into the actual introduction of this rice fortification scheme. First challenge, guys, it has been said that government's reasoning of providing the fortified rice to meet the scarcity of iron into the children is wrong, because if we actually give the iron folic acid tablets to the children rather than this rice, then within 10 months it can actually solve the problem of the iron deficiency problem of anemia. However, guys, the fortified rice will be taking the 24 months to solve this particular problem. So obviously the iron folic acid tablets are more good than this rice. Second, guys, it has been said that in our country there are 24,000 millers. These millers are needed to be brought on board. Millers, rice millers, they actually have to mix the fortified rice along with the normal type of rice. So therefore, bringing such large number of rice millers onto the board, it is a kind of a challenge. Then, guys, it has been said that it will lead to the corporatization of entire process. What will happen? There will be a central unit where all the rice will be going. That rice will be mixed with the fortified rice, and then it will be issued. So this particular corporatization, why corporatization? Because there is a possibility that this particular thing will be given to the private players, and then, guys, there could be a possibility that they might abuse the system for making their own profits. So these are certain challenges which will be coming. So it provides a kind of a opposite spectrum. If you write any question, criticism also you need to provide it. So, guys, that's it. Now we'll move to the next article. Now, guys, this particular article has been taken from the Hindu newspaper, and it can be used as a reference, guys, with respect to the performance linking of the disbursement. In India, it has been said that often the money is provided, but it is not seen that whether the money is bringing the benefit for which it was given. And various committees and commissions have come that government should actually evaluate the outcome also. In India, we majorly focus onto the output budget, where we just see whether the work has been done, but the outcome approach needs seeing whether the result has come or not. Now, guys, what happens? Every year the center government gives a certain budget allocation to the state government so that they can take certain steps for the pollution. Now, this particular year also the money was to be given, but government has decided that only 50% of the money will be given now, and the remaining of the allocation will be given onto the basis of the performance of every state. If they had actually taken up the steps for reducing the pollution, then that particular money will be given. So, guys, this particular thing can act as a very good example as how the accountability of the state can be taken up for the fiscal management of the resources. So, guys, good article, you can provide it as a reference. And now we'll be moving to the next article. Now, guys, this particular article, it is a very basic kind of thing. What has happened here? You know that there are the non-banking financial companies. Now, non-banking financial companies are those which are involved into the money matters, but they are not the bank. It means that you cannot give them the unlimited deposit. You cannot use them for withdrawing the unlimited of money. You cannot just make even if the deposits can be made, the demand deposits cannot be made into the NBFCs. Now, guys, there are NBFCs which providing the people loan, etc. And these NBFCs, actually their customer base is so big that they have become very much important. But as customer base increases, their risk to the credit and all these kind of things also becomes very big. So there are certain NBFCs which have high systemic risks, and it has been said by the Reserve Bank of India that they needs to be given much more regulation. Just not like the normal NBFCs, they can be treated, but onto the regulation on par with the full-fledged banks, they need to be regularized. Now, guys, we had seen that into the last year, For example, there was DHFL, which was a very big NBFC, which was involved into giving loan for the housing projects, etc. It went into a kind of a crisis. Then, guys, there was the crisis of IL and FS, which again seen a large number of problems. So, therefore, in order to avoid these particular kinds of crises into the future, it has been said that they needs to be regularized properly. However, guys, what will be the actual kind of regularization, that has not been discussed, because this particular thing was just said as a part of an conference which was organized by the SOCHM. So, guys, that regularization part is not very much clear that how it will be taken up. So, guys, that's all about this particular article. I hope that you have understood it. So, guys, that's all for today. Thank you so much.